Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. Originally, I had planned to put together a suitably spooky video for Halloween, running down some of my top picks for horror-themed board games. That didn't happen. I was having too much fun with my family. However, as I had some raw footage already, it seemed a shame to waste it, so I'm going to splice it together and chat a bit over the top. So if what I'm saying doesn't seem to match up exactly with the images you're seeing on screen, it's because this video is a bit of a Frankenstein's monster. It's in the spirit of the season after all. Anyone who has followed my channel for any length of time might know that I am a huge horror movie fan. If board games are my first passion, horror movies are a pretty close second. But my favourite movie of all time is Nightmare Before Christmas, which came out when I was around 13 years old. I own several Nightmare Before Christmas games, and considering how much I love the film, it might be expected that at least one would hit my Halloween hit list. But no, I still tend to think of Nightmare Before Christmas as more of a Christmas movie. That's something for the fans to fight over. But I couldn't resist the chance to give two an honourable mention. First is Funkoverse. Not really a Nightmare Before Christmas game, but one set of a fun little skirmish game that spans a wide number of intellectual properties. This is a pretty straightforward battling game for 2 to 4 players with two big selling points. One is of course the cool pre-painted Funko playing pieces. Funkos aren't everybody's cup of witch's brew, but they do make for lovely cute playing pieces. The second selling point is you can mix and match all the sets for really interesting multiverse battles. Bruce from Jaws can fight the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, and Marty McFly can duke it out with Batman over who has the best car. I'll probably talk more about this game in another video at another time. The other Nightmare Before Christmas game worth mentioning is the trading card game that came out in 2005 and is long out of print. This is a really lovely game, and I'm lucky enough to have a complete set of the Premier card set. Even using the pre-built starter decks, you can get hours of fun out of this game, and it really doesn't feel like a game where you had to hunt down the rare cards to be competitive. The gameplay is pretty straightforward. Each turn you add a new location to your Halloween town, then you add characters. The characters generate scare points which you use to activate abilities and build spooky Christmas presents. There is interaction between players, but a lot of the time you're focusing more on getting your townsfolk to the right locations and building sets of characters to get combo bonuses. The much newer game Villainous from Ravensburger really is very similar to the Nightmare Before Christmas trading card game in a lot of ways. But enough about the also-rans, here's my fast and dirty top 3 Halloween games list. First is the obvious one, Horrified from Ravensburger. I've talked about this game in a previous video and also done a playthrough, so I'll be brief here and you can check out those other videos for more details. For a big horror movie fan like me, this game is a must-have, I would say. It has all the classic Universal horror monsters, and all the main heroic characters. Even Wilbur and Chick make an appearance as bungling NPCs to rescue. It's a full co-op with up to 5 players taking on a selection of monstrous foes. The rules are incredibly streamlined and quick to learn, and you can customise the missions to make them harder or easier, very simply. It ranks as my favourite co-op game, and considering how many co-op games I really enjoy, that's the highest praise I can give it. If you aren't so enthralled with the theme as I am, Ravensburger have just released a new version called Horrified American Monsters, which changes the setting and replaces all the classic horror movie themes with creatures from American folklore such as Bigfoot. It's not yet available in the UK, but you can bet I will be picking it up when it is. If you prefer science fiction, Ravensburger also published Alien: Fate of the Nostromo. It's a slightly different rule set, but plays almost like a sci-fi expansion for Horrified. It's incredibly tense and lots of fun, with the same ease of access and simple rules that Horrified benefits from. Again, there's a playthrough on my channel if you want to see more. My second pick is Ghost Stories, a co-op game for 1 to 4 players which came out in 2008. Admittedly, it plays a bit more like a horror-themed action movie than a straight horror movie. Think something like Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. But it's tense, packed with tough choices, hard as nails to beat, and has more ghosts, vampires and ghouls than you can shake a stick at. The concept is that 4 monks are defending a village from a wave of supernatural horrors. The monks move around a grid of 9 locations, activating special powers on those spaces, and then moving to the outer regions of the village to fend off attacking ghosts. Defeating ghosts involves rolling dice and spending coloured tokens to match the coloured dots on the ghosts, and unfortunately that central mechanism does tend to dissolve the theme to a certain extent. You do reach a point where you aren't thinking, I need to stop the vampire, you're thinking, I need 2 yellow tokens. Ghost Stories was reskinned in 2019 as the game Last Bastion, which jettisoned the Mystic Orient setting and ghostly goings-on for a generic fantasy setting with heroes defending a village from traditional D&D style beasties. The gameplay was changed up a little bit, but it seems to be essentially the same. I'm sure it's a fine alternative for people who want the same game experience without the spooky vibe. My final choice is fantastic if you're having a sophisticated, moderately sized Halloween gathering that isn't quite a party. I mean, if you're having a big Halloween party, you're going to want something like Ultimate Werewolf, but for groups from 2 to 7, I don't think you can beat, and apologies here for the pronunciation, Tajemnic Domostal, which I believe means Mysterious House. Viewers may know this game better by the title of the subsequent English language edition, Mysterium. This, to me, is perfect Halloween fare. One player takes on the role of a ghost who is haunting a mansion after being wrongly accused of a murder. The other players are psychic investigators spending a week in the mansion to uncover the truth. Every night, the investigators go to sleep, and the ghost fills their dreams with visions to help them uncover the true perpetrator of the crime. Each investigator player is secretly allocated a different suspect, location, and item. Then cards for all of these selections are spread on the table, and the investigators each have to first find the correct item, then the correct location, and then the correct suspect. If they all manage to do that, there is one final round where they have to find the actual criminal. To achieve this, in each round the ghost selects from a hand of dream cards and gives one to each investigator, hoping that something in the dream card will help the investigator to select the right card. For example, if the ghost wants to direct the investigator to the fishing rod item, they may hand out the card showing goldfish swimming in a bowl. Of course, it's never that easy, and the dream cards are packed with weird imagery and countless interpretations. When you're trying to get someone to pick the suspect in the red dress by playing a dream card that has red drapes at a window, it can be as hilarious as it is frustrating, especially as the ghost is never allowed to speak to give any additional clues. It's a wonderfully abstract, ethereal game that perfectly captures the unsettling nature of dreams and their hidden meanings. It's just great. And I absolutely love the creepy artwork in the edition I have. But there we have it, 3 of my favourite games with spooky themes, and interestingly, all games where the players are working together to overcome a challenge set by the game. After all, everybody knows the best way to survive a horror film is to stick together. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.